Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are here the day before Thanksgiving. We are grateful.
Woo-hoo.
We are thankful and to be here, to be alive, and to be with friends and family for the holidays. Randy is like a family member. I've known him so long. He's a
I
Marshall
feel like
Goldsmith,
it.
certified
I'm so
executive
honored.
coach and founder of his own company, Coaching for Relevance. And go to that website, coachingforrelevance.com. And we're talking to him again today about all his work as an author, as a coach, and really just always a great conversation. You never know what we're going to talk about because there's always something going on with you. For those new timers, tell us a little bit about what it is you do, who you are, and I know we're getting ready for a good show.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Well, Randy Swaim, as you said, is my name, and I'll just tell you, Jill. I know we've been together for a long time, just in on different shows and all that kind of stuff, and I'm honored to just be a friend of yours and being sort of a in
Thank
essence,
you.
sort of a family member, I guess, as of some sort. But yeah, it's honored to be joint friends here and stuff. And but I'm a Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach. As you know, most of my background, and I'm going to include just a little bit of this
You have to,
as a
yeah.
background into the show today. But so much of my career has been in aviation and mostly military aviation in one aspect. And and then for the last 25 years after I retired from the Air Force, actually about the last 30 years, but for the last 25 years, I've been this with this one company, and I've been developing and training and certifying jet pilots,
Yep.
and also been fully qualified to give instructors their check rides, and also upgrade and train and develop instructors as they go forward. And because it's really a that in aviation, it's part of my organizational maneuverability concept, because guess what? Even in businesses today and in teams that work for you or work with you, guess what? Not
Mm-hmm.
everything that happens is going to be exactly as you would anticipate it. Um, you at some point you're going to see factors that come on scene that you didn't expect, and all that. So that's just sort of the aspect about it. It's kind of what I bring, but I'm also a master level neuroplastician with the Institute for Organizational Neuroscience over in Germany. And so, with all that I do, as you know, with some of the shows, but also with developing pilots and flight crews and training people who are training others, and all of that. I bring neuroscience awareness as to how the brain works and how
Okay.
it can be getting in your way in some ways, in ways you don't even realize, and what you need to do and how your processing needs to take place and all of that. Um, but that's a little bit about who I am, my background, and what I bring. And I've had a lot of people. I say this a little bit jokingly, but it's true, that I've had a lot of people say, "When are you going to retire?" And I go, "When I take my last breath, because I'm going to run through the tape." I'm just
God
good. It's
bless.
not
Yeah.
about me. It's about hopefully leaving an impact in a whole lot of other people that they're doing better. So that's what, even if they don't remember my name. So
Beautiful.
that's what I'm all about, and that's what I do. What's what I bring.
Well, thanks for being here. And just curious, I got to just go off key for a sec. Just Thanksgiving, where are you spending Thanksgiving? Do you have any good plans?
Well, I'll tell you right now, there's no plans. Um, I don't know right offhand whether my grandson and the great grandkids are going to go to his parents and eat. They may or may not. Um, but if they do, I know that they'll call me down to visit. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. But otherwise, I'll just be here eating some turkey myself and going and getting it, and all that kind of stuff, because I don't really have family members around this area or anything like that other than them. And so, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm very happy if they decide to just get it with their family, he, his wife,
Yeah.
and their kids, and they bring it together as a oneness for their family. Hey, that is cool. That is perfect. So right now, I don't know, but right now I'm going to be celebrating it, at least in here in the heart, kind of thing,
Yeah.
on all that's going on, and a lot of what I see currently. Um, so yeah, it's we'll see. How about you?
Just I got, 2 boys, 7 and 9. We're just going to my aunt's house tomorrow. Simple. She lives 5 minutes away, and I don't have to cook because I don't like cooking. So it's just very simple. Not too many family members, but my sister goes to New Jersey, so my dad's going to come with me, and I have the boys and my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins. That's it. So nice and basic.
Cool.
I
Well, I'll tell you
love
what,
it.
that sounds decent. And I'm with you, by the way. The couple of times where I tried to cook in my entire life, I burned hamburger helper to a crisp. So if you turn I turn the
Oh, that's so
the
funny.
pot up over the trash can, and literally half of it stayed in the pot. It was so bad.
Yeah,
So what I know is I'm not a cook, so I don't even bother. I'll go out and get stuff and bring it home or something. But yeah, so yeah, I don't cook either. So yeah,
God bless. All right, thank you. Sorry.
cool.
All right. So what did you want to talk about for today? Fill us in.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought about doing today was bringing together an insight a little bit, and it'll have a picture of our operation over at DFW Airport yesterday. Um, but it's a little bit of a picture of true, and I'll give you a quote here in a minute, um, about true synergy and what it really is in your team, particularly where it's successful to be successful in a scenario that is not just the same all over the place, is not just rote academic. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Environments and scenarios that we're in today's world, it's not all just superficial. It's not just all rote academic. And so just getting an idea a little bit on that of how to do that. So that's kind of where I thought I would take that. And I've got a quote here, but
Sure.
then I'll also briefly share quickly a picture of that little event yesterday, because it was a little bit of an amazing picture of exactly what I'm talking about. And so I'll share that too. And if you have thoughts or questions that you want to throw out, you're welcome to.
Perfect. Bring it on in.
Cool, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things that I will say here is when you look at a lot of teams and business, teams and stuff in today's world, there's some misinterpretations that people can sort of have on this concept of synergy, because what a lot of people have a tendency to do is they think of this concept of synergy as every single person's doing it the same way, the same words, the same aspect, the same strategy, the same everything. And they're just, people can shut their brain off. And if you look at neuroscience, remember I've said this before, that your frontal lobe is the lobe that processes information, and basically your cerebellum back here just goes back into habit patterns, and it you can just shut down their thinking, shut down their situational awareness when you do that, and all that. But that's a key aspect about this that a lot of people don't understand. And I'll kind of share an example, really, that is with an operator that I work for, that is very good, and it's a good example of this, because you know what? You can be truly successful because every person that comes to training is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And if you can find ways of employing the training so that they are better, regardless of what level they came in at, and sometimes that happens when everything is not just the same academic way kind of thing. And so it's just something to think about when you're looking to really, uh, uh, you know, kind of cause people and teams to be better when you're leading them. And guess what? When you're leading your teams and modeling for your teams and all that, guess what? If all you're doing it is the same way and just says, this is the way we're going to do it, you just shut up and just go do it this way. You know what? You're not totally getting the job done, really, in that respect. And so we'll talk about that. But one of the things that I'll just kind of throw out, and this will be very quick, but I'll finish off with a very good story that happened yesterday, and then I'll give you a um, a quote
Okay.
today here. In fact, I'll go ahead and give you the quote. This is from Henry Ford. As you know, Henry Ford is a guy that was decades and decades ago when cars were just starting to come onto the scene and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a good picture of synergy, because here is the quote. Let me give it to you. He said, "Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress.
Ooh.
Working together is success." And that's the quote from Henry Ford. And it's very accurate, very right on, because when you're talking about working together, and I'll just give you a little bit of a story from the training environment, because some of the examiners there, will go to this one airport and do all their checking and evaluation at that airport. Some others will go to a different airport and do it. And all of the instructors know that if this person is the examiner who's going to do their evaluation, and they know they're going to be at this other airport, they'll kind of do some of the training over there, so they're sort of comfortable with the environment when they get to the check ride and everything. But it's not just, so many places in today's world, it says, hey, we're always going to go to this airport. This is going to be the exact sequence of events that we do it in, and da 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 da. And so that's the only place you go through for training and all that. Guess what? That that is not synergy. It is not developing the progress in the clients. It's just going through rote academic stuff to try to fill a square that is not truly getting the job done when you do that. And the fact that you have a team that realizes that different people have slightly different approaches as to how they assess certain things on there. It's not that it makes it harder. It's not that it makes it more complicated or anything. Nope, not at all. It's just a different place, a different sequence, and all of that. And that is a huge aspect. But here's the thing: when you have a team that's in a rapidly changing, unpredictable environment, and you're trying to develop your team for that, to what extent are you shutting off their processing ability in their brain, as opposed to what extent are you helping to really, bring out their processing and awareness and situational awareness for the situation that is there, where it's not just going to, well, somebody said we're just going to do it this way. No, that's not good. That's not good what you do on that. And so you think about it, and I'll tell you, we had I was given a check ride to a lady, and it was her second jet type rating, and she went through the initial training, and one of the things that I told her on the check ride after the oral exam, where you're just evaluating their knowledge, I told her, I said, you know what, you have my compliments on the way you have applied your knowledge in your training, and developed it and brought it to your brain and your mindset and your thinking. And after the check ride, she did so well that I told her, I said, I want you to understand, before she left, I said, I'll just share this with you. I mean, yeah, I may work with you when you come back through for recurrent training in a year or whatever, kind of thing. But I told her, I said, I want you to understand something. I said, the way you have applied your training is priceless. And I said, you know what? I'll fly with you any day of the week, kind of thing. And
Aw.
because she didn't just go through the rote academic stuff, but she applied what she knew, and she still had the ability to lead the crew. And even though, she wasn't an absolute expert on the airplane quite yet, but she was doing well, and she met standards and all that kind of stuff. But it's very key that when you do that, and I will say this, that when one guy on the very first sim session, when the guy knew that I was going to be given the check ride, and he knew where I usually gave him, he took her to that airport to do the first sim session, just to be comfortable with it. And that's two people working together, and synergism in your team, and synergistic in your team. True synergism doesn't just cause you to shut your brain off and shut everything down. And one thing, when you're talking about leading your team in any environment, in any business situation or whatever, I would throw the question out to leaders that may be listening. that what do you need to do to grow your team in such a way that they are not just shutting their brain down. They are truly developing their team. They're truly responding with synergy, even when things are a little bit different, even when unexpected factors come on scene. Their situational awareness is clear. They understand what they're doing. They're not just shutting their brain off and blaming it if it doesn't work out right. No, it's understanding how you need to adapt and tweak and make all that happen. And I'll and the question is for the leaders, to what extent are you doing that really? To what extent are you building that oneness, that synergy in your team, and what to what extent are you modeling it and doing it? And I'll give you this short picture from yesterday, because when you talk about leaders, even if you're not the leader of the team, if you're just somebody who's on the team, guess what? That aspect of synergy and oneness and connection is not just for the people that are right next to you. They're for the people that are below you, perhaps, or over above you. And I'll kind of give you one example of this that we did yesterday, which was kind of amazing. Now, I was actually surprised at the reaction, kind of it. But I will say this, that the manager of our particular program over there is this lady who's very good. She's very a good leader and all that kind of stuff. And she but about um every quarter, every year, we have a kind of a synergistic meeting, kind of thing. And yesterday we met for about an hour and a half or so. Um, but what was amazing is that she, stood up and talked. And if there's anything in the program that needs to come up and change, they can talk about it. They can kind of mention it, kind of thing, or getting clarity on maybe things within the organization, kind of thing that are coming on the scene or whatever, that kind of stuff, just to make sure the team's kind of up to speed and everything. But one of the things that she did is that throughout that hour or hour and a half, she lauded our people, and there was about, I think there was about 20 of us in the room of people on. She's a manager of two different programs, ours and one other one, and there was about 20 instructors, total in this room. And for the hour and a half, she lauded us like you wouldn't believe on kind of what we were doing and how we were doing it and things of that nature. And what was kind of amazing is something that I did, and the reaction in the room of what I did blew me away in a positive way. Because at the end of it, when she said, "Okay, anything else?" kind of thing, she said that's all we needed to talk about. She said, "Anything else?" Well, I raised my hand like this, and I was sitting on the front row, and I raised, in fact, I think I was the only one on this front row, because everybody else was on the two rows behind us, kind of thing. But I raised my hand, and she pointed to me. And what I told her was, I said this, I said, "Listen, I want you to just understand something. You've been lauding us and speaking highly of us through this whole hour and a half, and we appreciate that. But what I want you to understand is and I think I'm speaking for others, I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate who you are, and I appreciate what you do." And the thing that I think surprised her also, as soon as those words came out of my mouth,
Ah,
the entire room exploded into applause. I mean, the
yeah.
entire room exploded into applause, which was not bad. Obviously, it was good,
Moving.
but it
Yeah.
was moving and it surprised us. And I think it caught her off guard just for a second or two. But she's a good manager. In fact, I told her a long time ago, I said, "I've added you to that list of managers I'd work for, no questions asked," kind of thing and stuff. But I said that. And when I said that, the room exploded into applause in agreement to what I said. And I think that appreciated her. But guess what? This aspect of synergy is not just three or four people doing what I tell them to do. No, it's working together. Do you really
Yeah.
feel that oneness? Do you feel how you're really making that work and bonding together and creating success as a result of that? it's just one sort of picture, but it was interesting yesterday, after I said that how the room exploded into applause with what I said, and I think it kind of uh, threw her into a against a wall of appreciation, kind of thing for what people are doing, and I'm kind of being a little bit humorous with that. But the bottom line is, in what ways, when you're talking about this true synergy, in what ways, when you're working together, and this is the quote, I got it printed out here and stuff. When you're looking at this quote, it's one thing to say, coming together, and that's all. If all you're trying to do is come together on this one time, that's a beginning.
Wow.
If you're keeping together as you go forward, it's progress together. But you know what? Even down the road, if you're working together, and we showed that because she was, I think, like I said, lauding us for what we were doing and everything. But then when I said what I did at the end of it, I think she uh, was appreciative, but she, I think it kind of surprised her a little bit, not because it was for me, but I don't think she expected anybody to say that. But when the whole room applauded, I think she was thrown into some thankfulness and some appreciation, kind of thing, because it was true. It's like, appreciate what you're doing, and all that. So when you're talking about synergy, I just leave this with a few people that are listening. When you're thinking about your team and being ready to perform in rapidly changing environments, how are you truly, truly helping your people? And that includes your managers.
Mm-hmm.
How are you truly helping people experience that one true synergy? And here's the thing, if you're a manager and all you're looking to do is tell them what to do and they better do it my way because that's our synergy, you got it wrong. That's not what it's about. And it's if there's somebody that's doing something illegal or unethical, yeah, you got to step in, kind of thing, and fix that. But you know what, if your people, by who they are as a team, are truly
Mm-hmm.
coming together in a degree of oneness, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting when you talk about this synergy, it's a lot bigger than just doing the same thing every time. It's not, we're all doing it exactly the same way, no ifs ands or buts, we're not even going to think about it because that's the way we're supposed to do it, kind of thing. But it's doing it in such a way that your clients get remarkable results, but also your people, that those that are next to you, those that are below you, those that are above you, experience incredible oneness and synergy, and build thankfulness and build appreciation that I'm glad I'm on this team. I don't want to go anywhere else. And so it was just sort of a picture of this aspect of synergy and this true oneness that is a little bit beyond what a lot of people think. And I throw it out there just for something to consider for sure.
Well, wow. Always chock full of great stories, meal feel good stories here. And I love that about you. You're always making people happy, getting that round of applause. And you don't do it for those reasons, but just the conversation is awesome.
And
Wow.
and
Thank you.
what was amazing is the applause was not about me saying that. The
Yeah.
applause was they were backing me up in what I said and applauding her. And that's the amazing part about it with what you just said, because they were not applauding me for saying it. They were basically coming into an agreement with what I said and demonstrating that to her. And so how do you really experience and engender that true oneness in your team, and make it so that people can really continue to grow and really come up to that point of true synergy, not just academic rote, we'll do it all this way. No, there is a degree where you may want to do that, but you got to be aware when factors come on the scene that you didn't expect, that can be a player. So just something to think about. But it's a key aspect that takes the concept of synergy and oneness as a team even higher than most people realize, higher and bigger than most people realize.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, we got to go out of time, but I want to wish you a very happy, healthy Thanksgiving. Please, how do we contact you to reach out?
Okay, well, and I hope you have an incredible, wonderful Thanksgiving as well.
Thank
But you can
you.
go to my website at coachingforrelevance.com. And if you go to the bottom of the website, it has my email and also my phone number on it. And anybody can reach out. As you know, and people have heard, guess what? I don't do sales calls necessarily, kind of thing. I just have conversations. I mean, if somebody has a need, yeah, we'll come up with something. But uh, I just have conversations to get to know people to begin with.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day and a great Thanksgiving. We'll be in touch next week. Okay.
Sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll look forward to it, Jill. It's always a pleasure talking to
Ditto,
you and
ditto,
being here
ditto.
with you.
Thank you so much. Bye, Randy.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.